In the 1940s and 50s, the parish of Portland, and in particular the town of Port Antonio, was the setting of numerous Hollywood films and the favorite destination of many Hollywood stars, including Errol Flynn, Clara Bow, Rudyard Kipling, and Ginger Rogers. It is said that Errol Flynn was so in love with the area he claimed he never met a woman as beautiful as Port Antonio. Robin Moore, the author of The French Connection, is said to have written the famous novel while sitting under a mango tree in Port Antonio. Many feel that Port Antonio's relative underdevelopment compared to the island's other resort towns gives it a special charm. Portland formally became a parish in 1723 by order of the Duke of Portland, who was then the governor of Jamaica and after whom it was named. The existing port was to be called Port Antonio and was slated to become a naval stronghold. To that end, by 1729, the British began to build Fort George on the peninsula separating the twin east and west harbors, known as the Titchfield Promontory. The fort was intended to protect settlers against attacks by sea from the Spanish and from the hills by the Maroons. In 1739, the Maroons signed a peace treaty with the British, and this led to a new period of development in Portland. Settlers started pouring in, accepting the governor's offer of free land and slaves. Many began large-scale sugar cultivation, and by 1779, there were 38 large estates and more than 100 cattle pens and small holdings. Portland fortunes, though, were to take a turn for the better in the late 19th century, with the development of the banana industry. Portland's soil and heavy rains were well suited to banana cultivation, and almost any size farmer could grow banana for a profit. Banana, a quick-growing crop that can be ready to reap within a year, also had another advantage over sugar. It can be harvested throughout the year. Lorenzo Dow Baker, the man credited with single-handedly jump-starting banana production for export on the island, arrived in Jamaica in 1870. The island was experiencing a decline in sugar production and increased competition from beet sugar. Its protected market was gone. A new export crop was needed. Baker turned popular attention to the banana, long regarded as a source of local food, particularly for black Jamaicans, as slaves had it as their main cultivation on their provision grounds. Famed botanist Sir Hans Sloane, who founded the British Museum, noted the existence of bananas in Jamaica from as far back as 1688. Baker, who owned an 85-ton sailing ship, decided the market was big enough for him to play a part. His first Jamaican cargo included coconuts, coffee, pimento, bananas, and bamboo, all of which sold quickly after the 2-week trip. Baker, not one to let opportunity pass him by, saw the two-way potential of his tropical trade, and he loaded up with flour, pork, cured meats, codfish, herring, boots, shoes, furniture, and textiles, and returned to Jamaica. Man, you are a real hustler. It was on the second visit that he landed in Portland, where he sold some of his cargo. He used the profit to purchase a cargo of bananas at 25 cents per bunch. He eventually left Portland with some 450 bunches of banana. Baker encouraged Jamaicans to plant banana with the challenge: the first man who has 10 acres of bananas will be rich. Baker's Jamaican bananas were then sold in Boston for guess how much? $2.50 US. That's $2.50 US each. Check that, peeps. Write your answer in the comment sections. In 1879, Baker became the agent for a newly formed shipping company that enabled him to expand his transportation of bananas. Baker established an office in Port Antonio and began to make an average of 5 trips per year. He formed the Boston Fruit Company by buying out smaller concerns. Small farmers began to buy and rent land all over the parish to plant banana. Baker expanded by buying estates, including Bog near Port Antonio and Bowden in Morant Bay, more ships, and building piers. He soon faced increased competition, especially from the Keith and Linda families, who were engaged in a thriving fruit trade from Costa Rica to New York. In 1885, after buying out some of his competitors, including the Keith interests, his enterprise became known as the United Fruit Company. By 1902, Baker controlled the entire island's banana trade. St. Mary had also emerged as a major producer of bananas, and he went on to supply fruit all along the east coast of the United States and later New Orleans, Montreal, and London. Regular exports to Britain had begun in 1901, with Sir Alfred Jones' Imperial Direct Steam Line, which included refrigerated machinery, employed to the United Fruit Company and later bought out by them. Some 650 tons of banana were shipped to the UK each month. As Baker's trade grew, Port Antonio became the second most important town in Jamaica. Most of his workers lived in Portland. Those who did not grow bananas reaped them or loaded them onto ships, earning some 70 cents per day. Now, money was new to the people of Portland, and it is said that some became so rich they used the 5-pound notes to light their cigarettes. Knowledge of saving was sadly lacking. Again, showing great foresight and entrepreneurial spirit, Baker began to use his steamships to carry tourists as well as bananas. Those ships were for a long time the only form of travel between Jamaica and other countries. Guest houses built for his workers and officers were also used to host those early Portland visitors. As the trips to Jamaica increased in popularity, Baker built the magnificent Titchfield Hotel on the Titchfield Hill in the early 1900s, and soon the streets of Port Antonio were filled with tourists, giving Portland claim to the title of birthplace of Jamaican tourism. In 1905, the hotel boasted 600 feet of piazza and 400 rooms. It was said that no hotel on this side of the Atlantic is provided with more of those conveniences that minister so largely to the pleasure of travelers. The Titchfield Hotel became known for its afternoon tea on the piazza and bathing in bathhouses. Rich life. One of Titchfield Hotel's great claims to fame is that it was once owned by famous Hollywood swashbuckler Errol Flynn, who died before he could put any of his plans to develop the hotel into place. In the late 1960s, the hotel was destroyed by fire. Today, only the ruins of this great landmark still stand. In 1903, Portland was devastated by a hurricane. The banana fields were ruined. Shortly thereafter, an outbreak of disease occurred, destroying the surviving plants. In 1929, an interesting development occurred. Banana farmers came together and formed the Jamaica Banana Producers Association to act as one body and protect their independence and prevent large companies like the United Fruit Company from assuming complete control of the trade. With the help of the government, within a few years, the Jamaica Producer Association was handling a substantial portion of the trade and running its own shipping line. In 1936, the association became a private trading company, but is still largely owned by and identified with the banana farmers. The banana industry peaked in 1936 with exports of 355 tons. In a few years, however, it went into decline. Today, the Jamaica Producers Group of Company, along with the All Island Banana Growers Association, continues to serve the interests of the island's banana farmers and industry facing the repeal of protected trade agreements in the next 5 years.
Well, it's our major production. We can't do without it.
If you kill the bananas, you kill the livelihood of the Caribbean people. This is my message to you.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you reach so far in the video, you know you do for a shout out. But guys, the amount of persons that actually typed history in the comment section, we can't shout out everybody. So here one, just big up on yourself. Everybody will type history in the comment. And once again, thank you all for watching. I know that the video seems to be more about banana than about tourism, but you know, I have to highlight that too because the bananas was what brought the tourists because of the ship bringer. Alright? So yeah, people always talk about banana boat. You remember that? Yeah, that's where it comes from. So once again, guys, if you had made it this far into the video, type banana in the comment section. And blessings.